going on YouTube? I am back with another video, and as you can tell, man, I have Toro here sitting. We're getting ready to do the cold air intake, the filter, etc. I'm pretty much going to show you what the best air intake that you can get for the money and to keep you below ambient or right at ambient, and I'll explain what that means here shortly. But as you can see, all right, I had nothing done to the engine bay. I'm actually waiting on my entire kit from Billet Technology. Shout out to Nick Billet for like being super patient with me and doing all the custom pieces. But yeah, basically before anything, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, definitely share the video, because again, we're gonna be replacing the filter. We're gonna be adding the Hellcat lower airbox and the AFE tube, along with a better filter. All right, but again, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you rock as a cold air intake and things like that. Let me know what you think is best. But overall, all the forums and things like this is what's best, and it saves you a little bit of money too. On my last one, I had a Corsa one, and didn't really notice too many differences as far as like ambient temperatures and things like that. But let's get into it. So let me just go ahead and show you what I have. All right, I have the AFE tube from the 2015 to 2020 Dodge Challengers. I have a K&N high flow air filter. No, it doesn't look like that. It does have the curved edges to be able to fit in this box. And then of course, down here, just so you guys know, it is a genuine part. All right, I have the Hellcat lower airbox. All right, and literally all you need is a 8mm socket and a screwdriver, and you are going to take off this bolt, this bolt, this bolt, and this bolt. You're gonna loosen up there. You're gonna take that AC tube out, and then you'll be able to pop this off, take the filter out, and get everything else. It comes with a like more paper style filter. All right, and this is a 2020. All right, with less than like 3,000 miles. And you can see how dirty it is already, man. But you know, you'll end up taking that out. All right, you guys, and one major difference I want you to see is obviously the intake tube. All right, and then the actual space is bigger for the airflow to actually come through. And what I mean, if you pay attention to right where my hand is, I'm gonna bring the other one into the picture and you'll see it. All right, you guys, you can see that it's actually more blocked off, and that actual curve comes out a whole lot more. So it's a little bit more restrictive, but you need to understand one thing. You're actually gonna take a few parts off of the old one to put onto the new one, and I'll go over that. All right, you guys, you can see I'm at a whole other location because Dodge decided to put screws on either half that are this tiny on the 2019s and above. So if you're struggling with to get it out, all right, you have a T10 with a screwdriver connector that allows you to get into that tight of a space. All right, because they were literally screwed on. Shout out to Dodge for making a 30-minute thing an entire full day. But you can see I have the new filter in. I replaced the gasket here, and then if you look around on the other side, there's a little rubber sealant there that you're gonna have to take off of your old one as well, man. But you can see the filter is way better. It's gonna be more of a high flow filter. It is actually a true filter, it's not a paper one. Yeah, and then you can also see the AFE power tube. Okay, we're gonna get this connected here, and then basically we will reinstall it. I have some foam that's gonna go here that will help the actual sealant here and here, and then we will basically be done. Now on the Hellcats, I've heard that you actually have to push this back. Not Hellcats, on the SCATPACKS, I've heard you actually have to push this back. I fit it in there and screwed it down to see if I needed to, and it fit pretty well. But some people are actually moving this just to get more of a flush fit, but that's totally up to you. All right, you guys, so I did run into a few problems with the 2020s, and I don't know if it's just the 1320s or the actual 2020 itself. But the AFE tube that they recommended, all right, I'm either gonna have to shave it off or literally go to the dealership and get the actual 2020 Hellcat tube off of a, again, 2020 Dodge Challenger, because apparently I called and they said it was up to 2019, but their website says 2020. The actual shape in the dip is a little bit lower. Apparently, I didn't know they changed all of that stuff. You know, it doesn't really make sense to me, but what I'm gonna do for right now is go into Advanced Auto, get some tubing connected. That way I do have the airflow, and when I get a chance to go to Dodge, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get the actual Dodge part, man. So, you know, you live and you learn kind of thing. This one was plastic, a harder plastic, so to me it just was gonna last a little bit longer, things like that. The Dodge one is actually a more felt with a plastic lining on the inside, almost like a skeleton. So I was a little worried about that with washing and everything else, but you know, so that's gonna be later on, and I'll replace it. You know, I'll show you in one video later on. But again, we're about to go into advanced auto, get some tubing that is about the same size as this, cut it, connect it, and be done for right now. But yes, don't grab the AFE power tube unless you have the AFE power intake. All right, again, I had the Hellcat lower airbox. All right, you know, it's one of those things where when you try to do it yourself, you know, it is what it is. But again, make sure you get the actual Mopar parts, all right, versus the AFE power tube. Even though they may suggest it on the forums, etc., go ahead and just grab the actual part. Y'all are probably dead serious laughing at me, man. But like I said, I'm just gonna make it work. I have a flexible air duct from Advanced Auto, man. They kind of came in clutch. And I was actually talking to the guy. He's LS swapping a Mazda. All right, I think it was a Mazda Miata. It's red. Be on the lookout for it in Charlotte. But again, we are about to cut a air duct to be able to put, for the time being, between the Hellcat airbox and the light. So I'm gonna size it up here and we'll get. All right, you guys, so what I did was got a air duct, or a customized air duct tube, which literally looks like vacuum hose to me. All right, and it comes with two sockets. All right, or two sockets, whatever you want to call this rubber piece right now, man. I'm struggling, but you know, on each end that I can use. It did take a little bit to cut the actual wire, but I'll put one end here. I'll kind of extend it a little bit, get it up to where it needs to go, and then I will put it in. All right, YouTube, you can see where I ended up at. All right, I ended up at his house. All right, because it was crazy. As you can hear, all right, he is dremeling off part of my AFE tube. All right, we are going to use that. I found a few more forums to look at. I'll show you what he's doing here shortly. But I ended up at Scatter's house because, again, just it did not end up the way I wanted to, and I'm such a perfectionist in OCD. It's got to look right, and I definitely wanted to use the plastic tubing instead of the makeshift, right? But yeah, goes to say, man, something about the 2020 just fits a little bit off, and you will have to move your engine coolant. That is one of the biggest things that I didn't read or didn't see until just now. So I'll kind of show you when we're done. Very good. All right, you guys, you can now see it's finally on there. All right. And I have my tube going through. I know it's dirty, but it's getting washed. But you can see the tube going through before getting back on. All right, you guys, Toro is finally done with this whole air intake issue that I've had, man. It was exactly what I wanted. It was just a little bit of complications and things like that. Long story short, the boot, or the fitting for the actual coolant tank reservoir, whatever you want to call it, sits a little bit different, so it actually blocks a little bit of actual space for the tube to fit the correct way. They started it on the 19 scats and above, and you know, Hellcats, etc. So yes, we did have to shave about 3/4 of an inch off of the tube, and I ended up using the plastic hard one just for the fact that it would last a little bit longer. The actual Hellcat tube is like a felt kind of feel, and I just didn't like that with weather and everything like that. But yeah, so I am going to pop the hood. I'm going to show you exactly what it was, and that's going to be a wrap. But just make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you run as your cold air intake. This is kind of my particular choice. Saved me a little bit of money, and I stayed right at ambient, plus or minus maybe 2 to 3 degrees. And all ambient is the temperature outside of the surrounding areas. This stays colder, right? So if it's 41 degrees, I've been staying at about 37 to 39, somewhere around there. And you know, after the car is warmed up, I'm like right at the temperature outside. So that's pretty much what I was looking for, to keep the engine cooler, suck a little bit more air through the actual intake lights, or the intake tubes on the lights. And if you haven't already, man, this wrap that Jeremy did is crazy. Like, I couldn't be more happy with it. So shout out to him. Maybe doing some other things here, not sure. I can't find it's hard to do with one hand, you guys. But you can see, shout out to this carbon fiber wrapped with the red. But now, wow, I still have soap from where I got it washed. But as you can see, the tube is now there. All right, and I'm gonna take this out so you guys can actually see here. All right, you guys can see the tube in there now. Man, it runs very, very well. I'm happy with it. I'm thinking about go ahead and painting or quote unquote carbon fiber this with the little red stripes and putting a 1320 here. We're gonna see, but yeah, so shout out to that. I think it works pretty well. And you can't really tell, but I have the tube now. And that's it.